Okay, we're going to start the show this week with the latest report from the American Customer Satisfaction Index, better known as the ACSI. The ACSI reports regularly on the various major sectors that make up the consumer economy here in the United States. The brands that have products or services within those sectors are ranked based on customer satisfaction using a 0 to 100 scale. So 100 is great. You don't see a lot of 90s even in the ACSI scale. The A is usually pretty good, and then just down to the 70s and the 60s usually for most products on the ACSI surveys. This time up, the ACSI reported on one of the most closely watched and competitive sectors in the economy, automobiles and automakers. The top line figure shows that overall satisfaction is down just a tick from a score of 82 overall, again for the entire industry in 2016 to 81 this year. And as usual, European and Asian nameplates tend to do a little bit better than their US counterparts. Automakers based in Europe and Asia each averaged a score of 82, and brands in the United States averaged an 80. And again, these are actually pretty good numbers. I mean, you know, as we go through these a little bit, you're going to see that the scale is very tight. It's from the 70s to the 80s, and many times in the ACSI you see like from the mid 80s to the 60s on some of these things. So, people are pretty happy with their cars is the takeaway here. Well, and you take a look at the individual brands, it's clear that luxury makes and models tend to score a little bit better than their down market peers. Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Cadillac, for example, are three of the top brands in the survey, with scores of 86, 84, and 83 respectively. However, non-luxury brands like Toyota and Subaru with scores of 86 and 85 also performed really well, and those are kind of like actually semi-luxury brands, really, if you think about them, Subaru and Toyota. At the bottom of the list, again, and not that far down really, are Fiat and Dodge, both scored 75s, but again, those aren't really terrible if you look at the overall ACSI scores. In some sectors, scores like that might be near the top of the list. So the key takeaway here is that by and large, consumers are generally pretty satisfied when they purchase a new car, as you'd imagine they would. You got a new car, I mean...
I'm going to feel like I'm satisfied. I just laid out
20, 25, whatever, Now, this particular survey was based on interviews with 3,934 customers, chosen at random, and contacted via email between July 1st, 2016 and June 20th, 2017. So for more information, you can check out the ACSI online at www.theacsi.com. That's THEACSI.org. I said .com, it's a .org.
.org.
Yeah, .org. Yeah, really, ACSI does great stuff, and it's always really interesting to see how those brands
now sometimes when these things juggle around by a point or two, that's noise, right?
It's noise.
To me, what's interesting is if, and ACSI always puts these up, is the long-term trend. And you see that in general, foreign brands, foreign nameplates do tend to do better than American nameplates. Luxury do tend, even over time, now they may bobble up and down, but usually there is this divide between foreign and domestic.
You know what's interesting, and I know we got to run to this next story, but what's interesting about that is that you look at what ACSI judges on, and value is not one of the things that they judge on.
Right.
So obviously, the luxury brands are going to be much better because you're not considering the fact that you paid 3 times as much for a Lexus as you did maybe for a Honda.
Basically, they're saying, do you like it?
Do you like it?
Do you like it? Yeah.
So is value included in there? I mean, if you can afford
my guess is that intrinsically is built in.
But that accounts for a lot of it. If that value was one of the things that they judged on, maybe it wouldn't be quite as big of a separation. So,
I'm not sure if they've ever, but it'd be interesting to compare the ACSI scores to the scores that are done by, like Consumer Reports and who else does a big.
The Consumer Reports is the big one, but
I think also somebody else does a big car comparison. I don't want to say car and driver
does, but it's not anyway. But no, there's a few people that do that, but the ACSI one is pretty accurate, I think.
All right.